Now I wanna have stuff to do. All the kids wanna see some blue. All the kids want stuff to do.
Okay, so here we are for our review of Wheel of Time Season 1 Episodes 3 and 4. And the way I'm going to structure this is I'm going to give some general impressions about the show as a whole and then discuss some specifics. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, this is something I have commented on other people's videos about the Wheel of Time show. And my take is, the way you got to see this is that the Wheel of Time TV show is a cash grab. So all the comparisons with The Lord of the Rings fall flat because this show is just Jeff's
That's Jeff Vader, that is.
grab on the current popularity of the fantasy genre. So we had some really good fantasy adaptations: Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, Witcher, the Harry Potter franchise. Finally, technology has caught up and arrived at the point where fantasy adaptations are very feasible. So, Jeff had a look around, and what's the next big franchise that hasn't been adapted yet? Wheel of Time. There we go, there we have it. Now, in general, the production is okay. It's not amazing, it doesn't have the grittiness of Game of Thrones. Some people have pejoratively compared it to the Hercules Adventures from the 90s, that kind of level of production. I think it's a little bit better, but it's not top-notch, top-of-the-shelf stuff, but it's okay. It's watchable. Again, I believe that Wheel of Time is trying to ride the wave of the recent adaptations of Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings, because what is this? What is this thing about the title credits do have a feel, they have a taste for, Game of Thrones. There's a certain inspiration there for sure. All this thing about having British actors, why British actors in all this medieval fantasy stuff, is that a thing? But anyway, there is that for sure. The cast, I find the cast a little bit bland. But maybe that's also because the source material isn't that great. Let's be honest, the characters in the Wheel of Time aren't as strong, anywhere near, as the Game of Thrones characters. And they're not as interesting as Lord of the Rings, because you could argue, potentially, that the Lord of the Rings characters aren't that strong, but because you've got elves, you've got dwarves, you've got hobbits, all that kind of stuff, they're very unique in their own way, even though as characters they aren't as grey or as multifaceted as they could be in Game of Thrones. So maybe the cast is working with what they have, and they're doing the best they can. I think in general, like I said, the cast is a little bit flat. I don't get the whole Perrin thing looking confounded and dumb all the time, but that's what he seems to do. He's certainly not that in the book. They seem to have gone for the archetypal oafish, big, burly warrior type thing with not much brains, because all he does is look confused throughout most of the show, but there you have it. And then there's certain little things that look a bit weird, like the Children of the Light, they're all dressed in pristine white clean clothes after galloping and horse riding, hunting for the Aes Sedai. What is that all about? The witch, whatever it was. What is that about? Who looks like that? Looks a bit cartoonish. And then Liandrin, the Red Ajah false prophet hunting lady, looks like a cartoon evil character thing. It was with the makeup and the resting bitch face all the time. He's not great, is it? Let's be honest here. And then we've got some good calls. We've got some good calls. I don't think Rosamund Pike is brilliant. She's okay. Some people say she's the best thing in the show. She's nothing to call home excited about. Let's be fair here. I think the casting succeeds a lot better in the secondary characters. So, for instance, the guy playing Logain, Spanish actor famous for his role as the professor in The Money Heist, the pretty good cast there. He looks great. One of the warders of the Aes Sedai, we've seen he did a fantastic job in the Vikings TV show. So he looks awesome. Maybe perhaps repeating a little bit the character he did in Vikings, but that was excellent stuff. The guy playing Padan Fane, whoa, just like a few seconds on the screen, and great personality there grabbing you. So I think, like I said, casting of secondary characters stronger than our main leads. Then again, let's put this out here. Super fans of the books cannot be too happy with the TV show. They've radically changed aspects of the book that, like I said, you cannot be too happy about. The Dragon Reborn in the books is a man, and there is a reason for it, and the whole power dynamics and gender relations explored in the book. And the Ta'veren are 3, Perrin, Mat, and Rand. All of a sudden we've got 5, so we've added Egwene and Nynaeve there. They've been scaled up for the TV show because power women and all that. And also apparently now a woman can also be the Dragon Reborn, which goes against the history of the show, because historically all the dragons and the false dragons are men, so why all of a sudden can it be a woman? Look, I don't care. I don't care about these gender differences. I don't care for the whole female, male, whatever. What I think is just I'm not going to call it a betrayal, but it's a twist. It's a sharp, marked change relative to the source material that goes against the spirit of the books. That's what I'm saying. Now, in general, the show seems to be doing okay, but I found something a little bit strange. You go to the IMDb and the critics' ratings, and there's a marked difference between the overall consensus and the top critics, and I don't know what that means, but it must mean something, but I don't know what. Just leave you to make up your mind about it. Then, the show does some crazy stuff that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. So, when we had Nynaeve captured by the Trollocs, there is no chance she would have made it out alive. No chance. In the books, she would have been killed on the spot. Last we saw her, she was trapped by a bunch of Trollocs. She would have been eaten alive on the spot. Beginning of the episode, somehow she's fighting off just the one Trolloc who decides to go and eat his body instead of her, and she somehow manages to escape and evade him or whatever. That would never have happened. That's ridiculous. Okay, that there's no way she would have been able to escape from that. And then track Lan and the rest of the party. She was just a medicine woman. She was the wisdom from a little village who all of a sudden has got these amazing tracking skills and manages to track Lan and the rest of the party to Shadar Logoth. No, I don't buy that. It doesn't make sense in world. Whatever. And then there's also that ridiculous thing where she's cleaning the holy rocks of the cave. Well, cleaning rocks in a cave, well, what is that all about? Ridiculous. There's also a fairly unexplainable situation with Moraine when they're escaping from the Trollocs and they cross the river on the little boaty tow thingy, the ferry thing, whatever. When the ferryman wants to go back to his family and he decides to jump in the water, and Moraine just kind of lets him drown himself in the maelstrom she's created to sink the ferry, and that's just ridiculous. There was no need to kill that guy as easily as she let him drown on the river. She could have just picked him up with an airflow and pick him out to safety, and that's it. It makes no sense. I don't know why she has to be so callous there and try to justify it. And it's just weird. It's just really, really weird. It's all real. It's all weird, and the multi-ethnic casting thing doesn't feel natural either. I've got nothing against diversity, but I think diversity done well, like in Walking Dead, it's really cool, and it doesn't matter because you've got strong characters, and who cares about their ethnicity? Here, like with the Tuatan, the traveling people, the Tinkers, like all of a sudden you got mixed Asian, black, half mixed race people, whatever in there. It doesn't kind of make sense if they are traveling community, where people sort of leave the tribe and then they come back. It should be a bit more homogeneous, because one of the things about the books is that you've got very defined cultures and countries. You've got the Xiantian and the Karakhanid and the Aiel and all the stuff. So again, you're sort of perverting your source material for the sake of what? For what are you adding? You're actually detracting from the world building created by Robert Jordan in the books. But anyway, so like I said, if you're a fan of the books, I think you've got reasons to be annoyed by the adaptation. Some people out there love it. Whatever, that's fine by me as well. Me, I think it's an improvement on the books. I think the show is watchable, but nowhere near in terms of quality, in terms of production, in terms of strength, as the more recent adaptations we had of fantasy shows like Lord of the Rings, like Game of Thrones. And anyway, this is all I've got for today. Thank you ever so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. Take loads and loads of care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.